Good morning. My name is Dr. Barbara Vilander, and this is the course orientation video for my spring 2025 courses. I'm going to focus primarily on my online class, but the information, as you'll see, is applicable to all my classes, even my face-to-face classes. So I'm going to stop my video, and then I'm going to go to, let's go here. And we're going to go to canvas.cc.edu. So when you go here, it's going to prompt you to log into Pipeline. And then you should see any course shells that you have for any of your classes. So obviously these are my classes. I'm going to use the visual literacy one, but you would use these if you were in either of those face-to-face courses. So we're going to open this up, and this is called your course shell. And this is where all the important information is that you need for the class. The most important thing I can tell you is when you open this up, you need to be in modules mode right here. I don't know if the default setting for students is assignments, but you'll see if you go into assignments, you only obviously get the assignments. If you go in modules mode, you're going to see the syllabus, the midterm study images about your textbook, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then each week, there's a module for the week. So for example, this is our first one here. And so for the online class, it has the recordings of both lectures for that week. And then it has the PDF version. The face-to-face classes only have the PDF version. Because it's a face-to-face class, there aren't recordings for that class. And then if there's a quiz that week and or an image prompt, depending on your course, you'll find those there too. So again, if you go in assignments mode, you're not going to see those recordings. You're just going to see the week one quiz and the week one image prompt, okay? So, all right, so let's go back into modules. Oh, and I just realized that I didn't publish this. So let me do that so that that's available. It's going to take a minute to do that. And then let's go down here and make sure that week one is published as well. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's start with the course syllabus. And sometimes it can take a minute for these to download. So I really encourage you to print out the syllabus. I mean, it's just so you can have all that relevant information. This is being pokey, so I'm going to try this way. So I really encourage you to print out the syllabus because it's going to have all the important information in it, okay? I also highly encourage you to today go in and enter all the important dates in your phone, a paper calendar, a whiteboard, whatever it is that you use to keep track of important dates and assignments. I encourage you to go in and do that. And I don't know if the SBCC bookstore has them this semester, but they used to sell a relatively inexpensive college planner. It's a little notebook, has calendars, places for assignments, things like that. I know you can get them on Amazon for less than $10. So I highly recommend that you, if you like the paper route, that you do that, okay? So welcome to Visual Literacy. I will do my best to help you succeed in this course. Please be aware that by enrolling in the class, you agree to adhere to the weekly assignments, exams, and article analysis submission dates and grading criteria given below. You also agree to check your email at least twice a week. So this is for the online class. If you're in a face-to-face class, you are expected to attend every class, barring a medical or personal emergency, okay? Technically, if you miss more than a week of classes, so that's attending if you're face-to-face, if you miss more than a week of assignments online, you can be dropped from the course. So if something is preventing you from coming to class, please send or completing your work online, please send me an email. You never have to give me personal information. That's not required. Just say I'm having a medical or personal emergency and I'm unable to attend and or complete the assignments this week. And I'll work with you from there, okay? So this is my email. This is how you can contact me. My office hours are by appointment. And if you are near campus, we can meet on campus if you want, or we can meet via Zoom. So just email me and we'll set up a time and date that works for you, okay? So each Monday, and this is true for all the classes, the lectures and weekly assignments are posted in Canvas for that week. Now, again, if you're in the online class, you get recorded lectures. If you're in the face-to-face class, you need to attend the lectures. You are expected, so this is for the online class, you are expected to watch the lectures and complete any quizzes, image prompts, etc. by 11:59 p.m. the following Sunday, at which time submissions for that week are no longer accepted, okay? So if you're in a face-to-face class, your quiz or whatever you have for that week comes up on Monday, you need to complete it by 11:59 p.m. that following Sunday. If you're in the online class, you need to watch those lectures and then complete any assignments by 11:59 p.m. that Sunday. Now, in the online class, the lectures are available to you up until the first midterm. So you can go back and rewatch lectures, okay? For the face-to-face classes, those PDFs are available to you of all the lectures, and they're all the lecture slides. So online materials, so the syllabus, exam study images, the article analysis, grading rubric, etc., are available under our course files on Canvas, okay? And again, please view that in modules mode, and I'll show you those in a minute. So the requirements are 2 midterms, an article analysis, a final exam, quizzes, and image prompts on the dates indicated below, okay? So the first midterm is only worth 100 points. That's so you can sort of get your feet wet. And then you have another midterm, and then you have a final. The final is not cumulative, meaning it's basically a third midterm. So we study information, I test you on it. We study information, I test you on it. We study information, I test you on it. So each of the midterms and the final as a third midterm only covers the information presented after the last test, okay? So they're not cumulative. I don't go back and ask you questions from first midterm study images on the second midterm, for example, okay? Again, the weekly quizzes, image prompts, anything like that are available on Mondays and due on the following Sunday. And then unless you have a medical or personal emergency, I don't allow late submissions, okay? If you have technical issues with Canvas, let me know and then reach out to Canvas 24/7 live chat support, and I'll show you in a minute where those links are, okay? The exams may consist of slide IDs, multiple choice, short answer, matching, and essay questions. To be honest, I haven't asked any essay questions in a while. The dates below are when the tests are. Now, for the online class, you take your exams online, okay? So when the day of the exam is available from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. So what you need to do is, if you're in the online class, you select an hour and 20-minute and 80-minute block of time in which to take your test. And any time in there, you can, between 8 and 10 p.m., you can take your test. If you have an accommodation, you'll obviously get that time extension. Now, the exam closes at 10 p.m. So if you start the exam at 9:30, you will only have 30 minutes to complete the exam. So you need to go back, if you want the full 80 minutes, you need to go back the full 80 minutes before 10 p.m., okay? I'll explain the article analysis in a minute. It's due Wednesday, April 2nd. Please make a note of that date. So the grading is based on the 2 midterms. They're 102 points respectively. An article analysis, which is worth 200 points, and a final exam, AKA a third midterm, which is worth 200 points. The quizzes and image prompts total 100 points. So for a course total of 800 points. Plus minus grading is used. And then please do not use Canvas calculated percentages to determine your grade. Only your points total determines your grade. So the percentages that Canvas calculates don't always quite accurately represent where your grade's at. The only thing I look at is how many points out of 800, more if you do extra credit, how many points you accumulate in the class. That's what determines your grade, not any percentages that Canvas calculates, okay? And I'll show you that conversion chart in a minute. So you can do extra credit, and this is true for all the classes. You can attend a campus or museum lecture event or visit an accredited museum. And then there's an extra credit worksheet that you fill out to get that extra credit. So if you're in the Santa Barbara area and you want to attend on campus, so we have an Atkinson Gallery on campus at SBCC. If you want to attend an opening or an event or a lecture or something there, you can do that. If you're not in the Santa Barbara area, if you're taking the class online and you want to go to an accredited museum in your area, you may do that. And you can fill out 2 of these forms. So they're each worth a possible 20 points. So you can get 40 additional extra credit points, okay? Those submissions are due by 11:59 p.m. on May 12th, okay? So for the 101 class, this is your textbook. Now, for the 101 class, both face-to-face and online, this class has something called inclusive access, okay? Inclusive access is a lower cost online version of your textbook. So if you would like to use that lower cost online version of your textbook, I'll show you the way that you get in to access the textbook. But if you would prefer to have a paper copy of the book or would like to use the copy that I have on reserve in the library and save the money, you can do that. But you have to opt out of inclusive access or you're going to be charged for that textbook. Okay, and I'll show you the information about that. If you have any questions, you can contact Peter Ewan at the bookstore. And then if you have a book grant or SBC scholarship, do not opt out. Your grant will be charged for your textbook. So all that information is right here, okay? All students are expected to adhere to the current SBC standards of student conduct. That means conduct yourself appropriately, be respectful, don't cheat, things like that, okay? So if you are a DSPS student, and thank you, some of you have already submitted your accommodations to me. I love that. If you are a DSPS student, please understand you need to re-register every semester. If you think you might qualify for DSPS programs, I highly suggest you reach out to DSPS. And here's their phone number and email. And I will tell you that my youngest daughter, we had her tested in elementary school and nothing really came out. She retested again when she went to college and did qualify for accommodations. And my daughter went from being a C student to an honor student with those accommodations. They were very beneficial to her. So I always tell people, if you think you might possibly have something going on, you want to talk to them about it, I really encourage you to reach out to them, okay? If you are a DSPS student, you need to register with them promptly because that gives me enough time to know that I need to get your exam to them, for example, if you take it in the testing center, okay? All right. So the use of AI, artificial intelligence in the course is prohibited. You don't need it, okay? You don't need to do that. Don't use it to complete your weekly assignments, the article analysis. You don't need it. I want to hear your voice, okay? So it's not necessary. If I suspect that you're using AI, I can put it in AI search engine and it will help me determine whether it is AI generated or not. Okay, so please don't do that. So, and I put in here, works of art presented in this course may contain sexual, racial, political, gender, and other references. If at any point the course content makes you uncomfortable, please discontinue watching the lecture or presentation and make an appointment with me to discuss the matter so I can address the course content with you in an alternative manner. So nothing that's presented in the course is intentionally salacious or anything like that. But there is nudity in art. There's sexual references in art. There's other references in art. So I just want to front load you about that. Okay, so here's the course schedule. Now, this is the syllabus for my 101 classes. Your history of photography syllabus is going to be different, okay? Just be aware of that, all right? So for the online class, this week we're going to go do chapters 1.1 and 1.2. That means that you need to, if you're online, watch those lectures. If you're face-to-face, you'll attend those lectures. And you need to do the reading for those respective chapters in your textbook, okay? So the online class has a quiz this week and an image prompt, all right? And those are both going to be due next Sunday at 11:59 p.m. All right. So you can go down here, you can see Monday, February 17th is Washington's birthday. The campus is closed. So if you're in the face-to-face classes, there are no on-campus classes that day, okay? Monday, March 3rd is the first midterm for Art 101, all right? If you're in the face-to-face class, you're going to take that in the classroom. If you're online, you need to take that exam between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. that day, okay? So you can go on down, spring break is here. Wednesday, April 2nd is the last day to submit your article analysis. This is for the 101 online class. The 101 face-to-face class and the history of photography course have different article analysis submission dates, okay? I put other sort of college time date information in there. So there's your another midterm. So you can go on through and see. And then that is the day of your final exam, okay? So you need to note those exam dates, okay? You need to note when the extra credits due, when the article analysis is due, all right? So the article analysis, so there's a writing requirement for all the art history classes, okay? So there's an article that I posted on Canvas, and then there's a handout that I want you to use to analyze the article. So you begin by reading the article, and then in 3 to 5 sentences, you identify the problem or question the author is concerned with. Then I'll show you the handout, but under the handout, you need to respond to a minimum of 2 prompts under each of the 4 headings: author's purpose, evidence, argumentation, and background knowledge and received opinion. I want you to type the prompt and then answer the prompt. Type the prompt and answer the prompt. You don't need to write an essay, okay? Your response must be a minimum of 4 full double-spaced 12-point font type pages. Excuse me, so that's approximately 1,000 words. The grading rubric and a sample article analysis are available with our course materials on Canvas. Okay, I'll show you those. Must be completed by Wednesday, April 2nd. You submit that on Canvas, okay? So my hints for you, my goal is for you to succeed in and to enjoy this course. I would really like to see you get an A. I feel like if I'm doing my job right, you're going to get an A, okay? So students who've had success in my courses take detailed lecture notes, make flashcards containing the relevant information for each study guide image, and I'll show you those. So of all the images that I show you in lecture, only the study guide images are fair game for the exams, okay? So I'm telling you which images I want you to focus on and study for the exams. The lectures will give you any information that you need about those images. Also, the quizzes are pretty much sample midterm questions. So it shows you what an ID question looks like. It shows you what a term matching looks like. It shows you what a fill in the blank looks like. So the quizzes prepare you for the exams, okay? If you have any question as you're preparing your note cards or flashcards or whatever you make to study, if you have any questions about, is this the right material for that study guide image, meet with me. I'll look at your notes. I'll tell you, okay? I'll review them with you. And then promptly communicate with me regarding any issues you're having that are impacting your attendance or performance. Again, you do not need to give me personal information. You just say, I have a medical or a personal emergency, okay? And then I put a couple of links here. There's a basic needs program on campus that is really basically geared to make your life as a student easier. I always encourage students to look at financial aid. There is financial aid at City College that goes unclaimed. So you may not think you qualify for financial aid, but you never know until you try, okay? And then I also put student health and wellness information there, the link to that. If you are taking on or you're coming on campus and you have a cold or something like that, they have sort of over-the-counter medications. They also do classes that help you stop smoking. There is personal counseling available to students. If you're going through something and you want to talk to a counselor, you can do that. So these are all things that you're paying for. So I encourage you to take, you know, take advantage of those. All right. I put this little comic in here because I feel like this is really true. So it says the prof is going on and on. She lost me completely about 15 minutes ago. And everyone's thinking the same thing. Everyone else seems to understand. I must be the only one who's confused. Everyone's thinking the same thing. I really want her to stop and go over some of this stuff again. But if I put my hand up, 175 people will think I'm a doofus. The only stupid question that you asked me was how do I say it? The only stupid question is the one you don't ask me. Okay. I sincerely believe that. If you're confused, there's a good chance other people are confused too. If you're in my face-to-face class, when I'm lecturing, if you have a question, it does not bother me if you raise your hand. I would rather you ask me in that moment than not. If you're in the online class, understand you can stop, you can rewind, you can go over that, online lecture again. If you still have questions, email me. That is what I'm here for. Just because you're in an online class does not mean that you're entirely on your own. I am 1,000% here for you. Okay. I love a good art comic. Always gotta love those. And then I want you to know that this is a safe space for everyone. Okay. There's no discrimination here. There's no judgment here. Okay. All right. So let's close that out. And we're going to go back to modules. And we're going to come down to your midterm study images. So again, out of all the stuff that you see in class, these are the only images that you're responsible for. Okay. So midterm 1 study images. Now, sorry, the screen's a little shrunken, but this is just a diagram I like. I just like that diagram. Okay, so this is what they look like. So this is the plate number of that image in your textbook. Okay, so that's where you can find it in your textbook. I want you to know that it's by Matisse. It was done in 1942. In lecture, I'll tell you the other relevant information that I want you to know about this particular work of art. For example, this is in a chapter that talks about lines. And another good way to sort of cue into what's important about a study guide image is what is that chapter talking about? So for the Matisse and for the Masson, they're both about lines, okay? So we're going to talk about how, for example, here Matisse uses contour lines, and we'll talk about that. So that's, anyway, you'll get the relevant study guide information, in lecture, okay? So again, out of all the things that you see in class, these are the ones that are fair game for the midterm. Sometimes you'll see a non-text image. That means that image isn't in your textbook. I just really like it and I'm going to use it. Okay, so there's a couple of those. There's not many, all right? and I go over those in lecture. So you can see. Now, some of them will not have an artist, an architect, anything like that, okay? They just have a date. Some of them are more sort of informational diagrams, things like that, okay? But again, we're going to go over all these things in class, okay? So those are the things I suggest that you print out, maybe on the back of them, write the relevant information, okay? So you can make flashcards. So this is information about how to access your inclusive access textbook, okay? Mine looks a little bit different because I'm the instructor in the course. Yours will look a little bit different to you, okay? But that tells you how to access it. And sorry, I apologize. That's where you access it. Here's the instructions for accessing it, okay? I should flip those. Let's flip those. We'll put the instructions on top, okay? And there's where to click to access it, all right? Here's the extra credit information, all right? Like I said, you can attend an SBCC Atkinson's Gallery lecture, event, or exhibition and complete the worksheet, okay? Or you can visit an accredited museum and complete the worksheet. You can do 2 of those, okay? And then there are, I've got to find out if they're going to do lectures this semester and link those there, sorry. Anyway, you want to complete those worksheets and they're due by Monday, May 12th, okay? And let me just show you what this looks like. So this is the worksheet. So the name of the lecture, event, exhibition, the date and location, the topic and theme covered. So that may be the title of the exhibition, or if it's a lecture, the topic, okay? So if you attend a lecture or event, excuse me, answer these 3. If you go to a gallery or museum exhibition, list 3 works of art you saw and describe in detail an aspect of each work which relates to something you've learned in our course. Now, sometimes you have to stretch a little bit on that, okay? Because, for example, if you're in the history of photography class, the Atkinson Gallery may not have photographs, okay? So you may have to talk about framing or cropping or something like that, okay? Just try your best to relate it to something we learned in class. So again, you only fill out the relevant parts of this. So if you attend a lecture or event, you do those 3. If you go to an exhibition, you do those 3. Then if you attended a lecture, fill that part out. If you attend an exhibition, fill that part out. And then everybody should do this question here, okay? So that's how that's the handout you do. And you can do 2 of those, all right? Then you can go back here into modules, again, under important course information. And there are 2 places for you to submit if you choose to do 2 extra credits. There are 2 places for you to submit those handouts, okay? Or if you're in the face-to-face class and you want to hand it to me physically, you can do that as well, okay? I strongly, strongly encourage you to do extra credit. There's going to be one coming up fairly soon at the Atkinson Gallery if you're on campus or near campus. I really encourage you to do that because inevitably it's like the person takes the final and then they're like, I get this email and they're like, I don't think I did as well in the final as I wanted to. Can I do extra credit? I'm sorry, but that extra credit deadline will have passed because the extra credits due the last week of classes. So you got to shop early, okay? So just do it. Put those in the bank, okay? So please. Okay, article analysis. All right, so here's the assignment again. It's the same thing that I showed you in the syllabus, okay? That's just repeated there, okay? So here is, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, I guess I linked it here. My apologies. Okay, so this is the link to the article, okay? So each of the articles is different for each of my classes, okay? And the due dates are different for each of my classes. So for the online class, I'm having you read this article about financing the Gates project by Christo. So I'm going to click on this PDF full text, and it's going to take me to that article. So here's the article here, okay? So that is the article right there. So that is how you access that, okay? And if you have any trouble doing that, so I clicked on PDF full text right there, so I could see that there. All right, so let's go close that out. So we're going to go back to modules. And then this is the handout that I mentioned that you get those prompts from, okay? So you're going to read the article. You're going to begin by defining the problem, the question the author is concerned with. Then, under author's purpose, evidence, argumentation, and background knowledge and received opinion, you pick 2 prompts. Any 2 prompts under here, okay? Now, background knowledge and received opinion only has 2 prompts, okay? But you want to pick any 2 prompts. I want you to type the prompt and answer the prompt, okay? Something that's important to know is what is background knowledge and received opinion. Background knowledge, so it says identify the background knowledge necessary to appreciate the author's argument. That means what knowledge do you have to have before you read the article to appreciate the author's argument? For example, if you're in the online class, do you have to know who Christo is? Do you have to know what the Gates Project is? Do you have to know a lot about Christo's work or not? So what, if any, background knowledge do you need to have to appreciate the author's argument? Then, is there background information or knowledge received if not certain? That should be, I'm sorry, that tends to confirm or disconfirm the important conclusions. Okay. Received background knowledge is things we all generally agree on. The sky is blue, grass is green, things like that. We all generally agree on those things, okay? Certain knowledge is that which has been, say, let's say, scientifically proven or proven in some way. Water is H2O. Stealing is a crime, things that, society is deemed such, okay? So a lot of times people think background knowledge is what the author provides. That is not the case. Background knowledge is the knowledge that you bring to reading the article. Okay. Now, how do you format your article analysis? Let me show you that. So here's a sample analysis. This is for formatting purposes, okay? So she has her important information up here, the title of the article. She begins by defining the problem or question the author is concerned with. And then their author's purpose, she typed the prompt, she answered the prompt. She typed the prompt, she answered the prompt. Evidence, type the prompt, answer the prompt. That is the format that I want you to use, okay? Just that exact format, okay? And then this is the grading rubric. And I want you to look at these in more detail before you submit your article analysis, okay? So the grading rubric, basically what it does, and it's being pokey again. Let's see if we can open it this way. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the grading rubric shows you points that may be deducted if you don't have this element. So is your text a minimum of 4 full typewritten pages, double-spaced 12-point font, just the way you would normally type a paper, okay? Did you begin by defining the problem or question the author is concerned with? Did you do at least 2 prompts under author's purpose? Did you do evidence, argumentation, background knowledge, and received opinion? Did you type the prompt out? Your own analysis provided, not quotes from the text. I don't want you to quote the text. You can summarize in your own words a quote in the text, but I don't want you to waste time in your analysis. I mean, I've had people provide half a page of quoted text. That's cheating. Okay, I want you to use your own words. Okay, so you need to format it the way I just showed you. It's well organized and clearly presented. Sometimes there's a certain I'm just going to joke and say smell a paper has when it's written 2 hours before it's due. Because if you wrote that paper and let it sit for a day and then went back and read it, you'd be like, oh, there's a few things in here I need to clean up a little bit. Okay. So it can be spelling, it can be syntax, it can be grammar. And I'm not grading you on grammar, but if I can't understand what you're saying, then I can't give you the points. Okay. So organized, clearly presented, decent grammar. I can't spell to save my life, but you get it. Okay. Do not use AI. I do not want you to use AI. I understand that you're using your own words. I understand that it may not be the most prosaic text I've ever read. That's fine. I want to hear your voice, okay? Not a machine's. And then you need to submit it by the deadline, okay? I'm telling you now, you've got some time before it's due, all right? So, okay. Let's see what's next, okay. We did extra credit. Oh, I need to take that off. This is not, I'm going to take it off really quick because I'll forget. This was applicable to something from a previous semester, so I'm going to take that off. Okay. Here's your grade point to letter grade conversion chart. Okay, because you get points for this is the face-to-face classes. I will give you a letter grade when I return your exam to you. The online class, because it's online, you're going to see points in Canvas. So these are what the points correspond to. So for midterm 1, if you get an 80, that's equivalent to a letter grade B minus, okay? So over here is telling you if you want to get an A plus in the class, for example, you need a minimum of 774 points, okay? Guys, you can do 40 points in extra credit. 40 points goes a long way, okay? So if I were you, I'd do the extra credit, all right? My gift to you is extra credit, all right? There's also other extra credits sprinkled in the course. They're like little Easter eggs. You got to find them, but they're there. They're very accessible, okay? If you would like to do the Art History Certificate of Achievement, here is information about that, okay? I included this. I love this. This is student resources list, okay? So you probably got this when you went through orientation here at SBCC, but these are, and I've used my phone on my, to scan these on my computer, it works. So academic counseling, admissions and records, articulation, basic needs center. So the basic center strives to build awareness about food insecurity, health, nutrition, CalFresh, financial aid, and other resources in a dignified and helpful environment. They are so there to make your life as a student at City College easier, okay? Campus Store, the Career Center, the Center for Equity and Social Justice, computer labs, almost anything that you could think of, diversity, things like that, extended opportunities, escort service. If you're taking a night class on campus and you are concerned about walking to your vehicle, especially I would say those of you that park by Los Baños, the pool down there, or down by the Carriage Museum, if you have concerns, you can ask a campus safety officer to walk with you to your vehicle, okay? So there's a lot of stuff that this campus provides. International student support program, learning resources, library, math, you get it, okay? I mean, look at all these. This is all stuff that's there for you guys, okay? So take a little scan, pun intended at that, all right? And then I put internship opportunities. So this is something that I personally compile because I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today if I hadn't done internships. Okay, they helped me decide what I wanted to do with my life and where I wanted to do it because I thought I wanted to work in museums, which I have done and I enjoy. I like teaching more. And so doing internships in a museum and then other areas helped me sort of hone in what I like to do. So you'll find here a list of different places that do internships, the contact information, what they're about, things like that. Okay. And again, these are all geared towards the arts, obviously, because that's what I know. Okay. If you have questions about that, you would like to talk to me about that, I'm more than happy to discuss that with you. Okay, there's some really cool things there. So, and there's even ones that like the Maritime Museum. I mean, it's not all necessarily, art museum type stuff. Okay. The Santa Barbara Mission has interns, uses interns in their archive, things like that. Okay, so again, take a little peek through here, see what's coming up. Again, what we're looking at now, these are deadlines, like any deadlines in here. This is for my online class. The face-to-face classes, you have different deadlines. Okay, let's just reiterate that. All right. I do want to point out this. So this is under this week here, and I need to unlock all these, and I will. So there is going to be on Wednesday, February 12th, there's going to be an opening and talk at the Atkinson Gallery. So if you are near SBCC, you can come to these things. Okay, so there's going to be an opening. I think it's from 3 to 5 p.m. Okay. And then from 3:15 to 3:45, the curator of this show, Deep Color, is going to talk to two of the artists. So there's 2 extra credit opportunities for this. You can view the works on display and pretend like you went to an art exhibition and do that part of the extra credit. And you can attend that curator's discussion and submit an art lecture part of the worksheet. Okay, so you can get 40 points if you do both of those. Okay. Now, if you can't attend that opening, you can go back and look at those works on your own time. All right, you can just do that part and pretend you went to you went to the lecture. I mean, sorry, you went to the exhibition. All right. If you're not in the Santa Barbara area, go to a museum near you. And if you have trouble finding something, email me and I'll help you find something. Okay. So just FYI, that is coming up. Okay. All right, let's go back into, I went too far. My apologies. Okay, let's go back here. Jump back too far. Okay, so, and then I'll obviously be adding more information on here as the course goes by. All right. So let me think. I think that's everything I wanted to go over with you. Yeah, I think that's it. I should have made a list, but I didn't. Okay. Anyway, so the most important takeaway from this is this is going to be posted. I'm going to download this and format it, and I'm going to post it for you under important course information so you can go back and refer to this video. It will also be available to my face-to-face courses. For the online class, one of the most important things I can tell you is number 1, remember to be in modules mode. Okay. Number 2, make a note of all those important dates. And this is true for all my classes. Make a note of all those important dates. Put it in your phone, put it in a calendar, put it in a day timer, whatever works for you. Okay. Number 3, I am always available to you. All right. Especially since just that you're online doesn't mean that's like, okay, bye. I'm always here. You can always email me. You can always set up a face-to-face meeting if you're near Santa Barbara. You can set up a Zoom meeting if you're not near Santa Barbara. I am 100%, 1,000% here for you to help you. I really do genuinely want you to succeed in this class. Okay. If you have any questions, any concerns, I expect you to reach out to me. All right. So until I talk to you at some future date, I wish you a marvelous semester. All right, take care.